All right, let's move on to our next spot, and we're going to talk some Hogs at Mississippi State. Colin is going to talk Arkansas football. At BetMGM right now, Mississippi State is a 17.5-point favorite, over under 68.5. Mississippi State's obviously coming off that enormous win against LSU. This has letdown written all over it. They were enormous underdogs and pulled off that upset, going crazy. No one expected it, and they upset the national champs. And now they host Arkansas. No offense, Colin, but a pretty big letdown emotionally after beating LSU. I personally think this line is too high, and I was on Mississippi State that first game. I like Arkansas anything over 17. I took some 18 before. This is my first Arkansas bet ever since we started doing this podcast without getting your approval or hearing your advice. So this was a big step for me. I hope you bless my bet. Thoughts?
Well, let's talk about, first off, you wake up Sunday morning and all the college football writers in the world who, love to create narrative. I've already seen Mississippi State's going to be in the college football playoff. I've already seen Mississippi State can win the national championship. I've seen that Mississippi State. You get your futures in right now. Stark Vegas is coming alive, and we are national championship worthy. Next thing you know, Mike Leach has a produced video on some wagon that looks like they stole from the Sooners barn, and it's got pirate flags everywhere, and he says, "Welcome to my bandwagon." You produced a bandwagon video, like a high production, wind in the background video, because you beat LSU, a team that some people took 21 points off their power rating, lost every single player from a national championship, and you produced a video a couple days later. Man, I mean, this is just they should beat Arkansas, but man, this could really blow up in your face. But no, I don't think Mississippi State's going to the college football playoff. Let's talk about Mississippi State. Let's talk about the air raid real quick. This is nothing new. This is nothing nobody hasn't seen before. Let's go back and talk about what Washington used to do against Mike Leach, because Mike Leach was never able to beat Washington. Jimmy Lake, who's now the head coach of Washington, would say it's easy. They do the same thing every year. We run a 2-4-5 and a small amount of 3-3-5. We take away the deep ball. We blitz on the underneath routes. We let them have the small play. We take away the big play. The biggest key to all of this, who's going to beat Mississippi State? The team that can have two superior defensive ends creating pressure so that the team can drop 8. When you can drop 8, you can cover everything deep, and you can hawk everything over the middle. Arkansas has a redshirt senior, Dorian Gerald. He lined up at strong side defensive end this past weekend against Georgia. He had 3 hurries and 1.5 sacks and 18 passing plays against Stetson Bennett and DeJuan Mathis. So Arkansas does have strength at defensive end. Now, are they talented enough to stop KJ Costello from throwing these bullets down the field in the crossing routes? Probably not. Probably not. Razorbacks are not the defense.
Can they keep up? Can they keep up?
That's the question, is can they keep up? So I think, going against Georgia's defense is no walk in the park. Going against Mississippi State's defense, at least you're going to, this should be a little bit easier for Felipe Franks. I do like the fact that the Razorbacks are running very high tempo. They were running about 22 seconds per play. Sam Pittman had his beat writers conference call on Monday morning. He was asked, "Do you think we need to slow the tempo down against a team like Mississippi State?" And he said emphatically, "No, this is what we do. We just need to do it better." This game's going to be fast. Arkansas can't defend what Mississippi State wants to do. Arkansas is moving the ball at a faster tempo than what Mississippi State is. Arkansas only had 7 passes defensed against Georgia and 47 passing attempts. So they have talent on the offensive side of the ball to keep up. Treylon Burks, you saw a touchdown out of him. They have other players that are emerging. We need Felipe Franks to step up and do his role. If not, KJ Jefferson's back there. Every Razorback fan's been dying for him. But I'm telling you right now, Mississippi State's on a huge letdown spot. They got a video produced, and nobody's thinking about little Arkansas when you've got articles being written about you that you're going to win the college football playoff. So, yeah, we're taking Arkansas all the way. This number should be around 10, not 18.
Woo pig suey. And it's Mississippi State doesn't have a great defense. Like, people are we saw their offense last week, but LSU also did shred them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Arkansas is gonna be able to move the ball.